Town of Mount Pleasant Planning Board agenda, May 19th, May 19th, we're getting some feedback here. May 19th, 2025, 7:30 p.m. First up, we have two acceptance of minutes drafted for minutes. First one, acceptance of minutes drafted from the 5/1/2025 Planning Board meeting. Any questions or comments on those minutes? Those are minutes that we have received and we've reviewed, presumably, and we're going to accept them or not accept them.
I'll make a motion to accept the minutes.
Motion from JD,
Second.
second from Eileen. Jane.
Aye.
John.
Aye.
Eileen.
Aye.
JD.
Aye.
And aye for me. Next up, acceptance of minutes drafted from the 4/21/2025 Planning Board meeting. Any questions or comments? With that, one, entertain a motion.
Make a motion to accept those minutes from 4/21.
Motion from JD,
Second.
second from Eileen. Jane.
Aye.
John.
Aye.
Eileen.
Aye.
JD. And aye for me. Okay. Next up is what we call continuing public hearing, which means the public, if they're here, can speak on this application. Let me just read it off. 40 Sawmill Road, amendment to recently approved site plan application number SP 22-03 to include further improved circulation, accessible access to the building. Previous approval granted an increase to a total of 340 spaces. Amendment proposes an increase to a total of 330 spaces. Potential adoption of resolution of approval pending town engineer correspondence, which we have had received. Application site plan SP 24-10, steep slope 24-12, location 40 Sawmill Road, Thornwood. Section block lot number is 116.7-1-4. Zone CRB, owner applicant 7th Jam Development LLC, engineer JMC Planning, Site Planning LLC, architect Tecton Architects. And just a note, on May 2nd, we did receive the engineering comments that they are satisfied with the applicant, and this was pending the resolution, pending their comments, which we have received. With that being said, I'd like to ask the applicant to come up and see if we can wrap this one up. You couldn't make that up. But you're handling it gracefully.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you. I got an extra.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. Rob Aiello with JMC. So as you had mentioned, we have been working with the town engineer during the month of April on different comments as it related primarily to traffic with some different analyses, and happy to say that the town engineer has, indicated they're satisfied with the responses. And then one other change that we wanted to bring the board up to date on is what I just handed to you. When we were at our last meeting, we had mentioned that we would add additional landscaping along the front of the property. And what we've done is added these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 redbud trees along the frontage to provide additional ornamental trees along the front. And because we were dealing primarily with traffic-related comments, we didn't make a plan submission, but we wanted to give you a copy of that plan tonight to make sure that we have it in the record, what we indicated we would do at our last meeting before the board.
Okay, thank you. Anything else?
No, that's it.
So thank you for the trees. And I know it's a small thing. This is a big application, and this is not a big application, but the trees are important only because for that 9-hour quarter, it's getting a little bit busy, and we want to soften it up a little bit. So as applicants come before us, I think one of the things we're going to look at for all future applications, and we did for Amazon as well, let's put some trees in front of the building. Let's try to soften the look a little bit to do that. So let's make sure the records show that we are going to put 6 Eastern, or Eastern, I just threw
Red
the
buds.
Red
buds. I threw Eastern there because I don't know why. 6 red bud trees in there. So that'll be in the minutes, and then we'll reference that in our plan here. Any other questions or comments from board members?
Just a question. Is that supposed to be increasing from 304 to 330? Because it says 340 to 320. It's increasing 340 parking spaces, going to increase it to 330. 330 is 10 less than 340. So what
What
was
are
the
you
numbers?
referring to?
Your original, what, the number of parking spaces that were originally approved was what?
Let me go get
Do you
my...
know, sorry, it's just that our agenda says that there was a total granting an increase from 340 to 330. I just want to make sure we get it right.
Are the numbers swapped?
I don't know.
No to that last time.
Yeah, we asked about it, I just don't know what the answer was.
We had it at 340. It is now going to be 330 because they changed the way the layout is.
So you're
Yeah, what we're
decreasing the
here-
number of
show-
parking
show 'em what we're
spaces? This says
seeing.
increase.
We are decreasing, let me see.
Yeah, 'cause this is where we're getting confused. And
Yeah.
maybe it's us, but just, it's the wording maybe.
So either the
I'd have to
340 is
go back
wrong
and-
or the decrease or increase is wrong.
Right,
Going from 234 to 341.
and it was an increase of 109.
109.
Yes. And that was
Okay.
in the draft resolutions. Right, thank you.
Okay, so okay.
Sorry.
So I need that back. It's my only notes. Thank you.
So Pat, sorry, we went from 290 to
234 to 341.
341.
An increase of 109.
Okay,
Thank you.
well, let's-
So again, just for dotting the i's and crossing t's, let the minutes reflect that we should have that updated on the
just-
agenda.
It's 107.
107.
Okay.
So the existing condition is 234, but the previously approved, the previous approval had,
It was 34, something like that. It was not 109 or 107 spaces. It was fewer than that.
okay.
Okay, any other questions or comments from board members? Okay, let the record show that there is no further questions or comments from board members. Okay, we are at a public hearing, so if anybody here would like to come address the board on 40 Solnover Road, now is your time. Please raise your hand and we'll have you come up. No, well, do you have any public comments that you want to make? You want to make some comments?
I have a question about 75 Princeton.
Okay, we could talk about that in a second. Okay? So for 40 Stormover Road, that is it. There's nothing else to talk about from us. All right, so let's take a motion to close the public hearing for 40 Silver Road.
I make a motion to close the public hearing.
We have a motion from John,
Second.
second from Jean. Jean? John?
Aye.
Eileen?
Aye.
JD?
Aye.
And an aye for me. So we have a closed public hearing. What was the pleasure of the board to do with this application?
You have 3 resolutions, draft resolutions before you, Mr. Chairman.
So we have 3 draft resolutions, and we do have the amendment to the trees for the site
So
plan.
we would have to amend the date for drawing C-150 to April 4th.
Okay.
The revision date, I'm sorry,
I make a motion to amend drawing C-150 to April, what was it?
April 4th.
April 4th.
Motion from John,
Second.
second from Jean. Jean?
Aye.
John? Eileen?
Aye.
JD?
Aye.
And aye for me. So
And-
that's that.
Right, now you need a motion to adopt those.
Okay.
Seeker neg deck first, steep slope, and site plan.
So secret first, guys?
I make a motion to adopt the secret.
Okay. Motion from JD,
Second.
second from Eileen. Jean?
Aye.
John?
Aye.
Eileen?
Aye.
JD?
Aye.
And aye for me. So that's the secret, and the remaining one was?
Steep slope and a
Steep
site
slope.
plan, amended site plan.
I make a motion that we adopt the resolution regarding steep slopes.
Motion from Eileen,
Second.
second from John. Jane?
Aye.
John? Eileen?
Aye.
JD?
Aye.
And an aye for me. And we have this, then we have the site plan, right?
Amended
Site plan
site plan.
amendment.
Yep, so one more, guys.
I make a motion that we adopt the site plan amendment for 40 Sawmill River Road.
Okay, motion from Eileen,
Second?
second from Jane. Jane? John? Eileen?
Aye.
JD?
Aye.
And an aye from me. We're good to go, Mr. Aiello.
Okay, thank you all very much. We really appreciate your time.
Okay, thank you.
Good
What's
luck.
up next is on the agenda. 475 North Kensico, that is not on the agenda tonight. It's not even, 75 North Kensico is not on the agenda tonight. So if you're here for 75 North Kensico, it's not on the agenda.
We don't have a site plan pending, so I don't know if we'd be able to answer any questions about it. We don't know the project.
So we can't, without the applicant being here, we can't have any conversation, by law, we can't have any conversation on it, because it's not on our agenda tonight. So when it is on our agenda, you will know, and people will be notified, and signs will go up, everything will happen. Okay?
Are there any plans?
We're not gonna do this, we're not gonna do this back and forth here.
Are there any plans available online?
Not at this, no, there's not.
Okay.
Thank you.
Do I gotta recuse myself for this next one?
DEP? Yeah, you did it before, so.
Gotta recuse myself for the DEP.
Okay.
You still have a quorum.
Okay, you see me
Yeah,
counting
yeah.
over here.
Four.
All right. So next up, new public hearing. So that's a brand new public hearing, which means we have to waive the reading of the public notice, guys. So let me read this out first, and then we'll see if the pleasure of the board is to waive the reading of the public notice. Proposed, New York City DEP CRO 594, installation of a new access manhole number 2 for the isolation of the under drain line. Work will occur in the 50th buffer north of Grasslands Road. Application is wetlands W24-07, location 2 Walker Road, Valhalla, New York. Section block numbers 116.16-1-1 and 2. Zone OB2. Owner applicant, New York City DEP Bureau of Water Supply. Engineers, New York City DEP Bureau of Water Supply. So does the board want to waive the reading of the public notice?
I'll make a motion to waive the reading of the public notice.
We have a motion from Jane,
Second?
second from Eileen. Okay, Jane. Eileen.
Aye.
JD.
Aye.
And aye from me. So we waive the reading of the public notice. With that being said, would we like to have, we'd like to hear from the applicant.
Good evening. Is this on?
Yes, yeah, it is, yeah.
Good evening.
My name's Mark Cavalzo. I'm the BWS Chief of Infrastructure Planning and Construction, and I'm here overseeing the project for DEP. My consultant.
It's Kevin O'Brien from Mott McDonald. He's our design engineer on this project. Once we get this, project is to construct a new access manhole adjacent to an existing manhole. To provide us
Additional room to provide maintenance on.
Where the Cat UV plant is, we have calcium magnesium in the groundwater, which causes some clogging to occur in our underdrain system. This is a foundation drain, almost like a French curtain drain, surrounding the building foundation that drains into a common line that eventually makes its way down to the culvert that is underneath Grasslands Road and discharges eventually to Mine Creek. So. Right now, we don't really have access to it. The location of this work is shown here. This is where we'll see it blow up this layer, but it's that location right down. The existing underdrain was constructed, and it's within 50 feet of a local town wetland. So we're going to be working in the buffer area. So, next slide. This is the wetland delineation. Again, this lower side here, there's a head wall. This is the, this little green nose area, that's the grass area, stone actually, crushed stone. That's where the existing manhole is located, and we'll be constructing a manhole next to it. This shows our construction sequencing. We had some comments from the town engineer that were very good. We're looking at those comments, and one of those points was to take a look at and work with DOT about access from grasslands, so we are looking at that as well. One of the items we're going to need is a DOT access permit if we go that way, and so we will be obtaining that as part of our construction documents. Again, we have a power line. We're going to provide a conduit down from the facility so we can have a light switch on, because this is a very deep manhole when we construct it. It's going to be 50 feet deep at least. And so we're going to have some proposed lighting at the top, so when they remove the manhole, there'll be an outlet there so they can hook up the sump pumps to clean out the manhole. So that's what that's showing. The hash line right there, we're under the permit requirements. We're proposing about 0.2 acres of disturbance. That's access from our property. And so we're going to maintain that limit is our goal, to stay underneath the permit requirements for disturbance. Kevin, next.
So this is a detailed look of the manhole construction. You can see with this drawing right here, there's the existing manhole that's built to the underdrain. Just upstream of the manhole is two existing fittings.
Don't press that button.
Okay, sorry about that. I apologize. That red square, that's the new access manhole we're going to construct. It's actually going to be constructed very carefully. It's a deep excavation. Again, we're going to be shoring and taking our time getting down to that fitting. But just upstream of that manhole, there's a fitting. And so that we're having problems when we snake that line to try to clean out that underdrain. We hit that fitting, and that causes a problem. So that's why we're going to construct a new manhole just adjacent to the existing manhole so we can clean out that underdrain. These are some historic photos of the area. This one was from 2012. This is the construction of the UV plant. There's the head wall. Again, the area is just on the adjacent where that construction, I'm not going to call it a comb, but barrel, I think is. That's basically the area that we'll be working in. We have a better picture taken. This is from the street side. Again, we're going to be working just on the other side of the fence, just on the other side of that stone wall towards the left side of that photo. That's the work area. This is a view from Grasslands Road parallel. Shows the vehicle access, that if we come off Grasslands, that's the way it would go. The vegetation is blocking the view of the stone where the existing manhole is, but on the other side of that wall, between that and the fence is our work area. Again, it's worked within 50 feet in the soil stone area, but by the wetland, but not in the wetland.
So that's the existing manhole now today, so like what's at the bottom of that manhole?
The underdrain. So the underdrain is a trunk line that collects the perforated pipe that's buried around the foundation up.
So how do we, could a kid run over there and jump in there and fall down?
Well, it's behind the fence, and it's a manhole. I have to see if it's a locking manhole lid. I'm not sure on that. It was a locking, so it has a lock bolt. So you'd have to have tools to take it apart to then get into that.
Okay.
And it's pretty, common sewer access type manhole cover. This is a good view. So this shows the existing manhole, and then adjacent to this, towards the bottom of the page, is where the new one will be constructed. So again, in that stone area, again, within 50 feet of the existing wetland. So. This is a view of the fence line that if the contractor takes the route from our property, that is how we would have to take down the fence to get to it. Again, based on the engineer's input, we're working with DOT to potentially come off grasslands instead, so we don't have to take down that perimeter fence. A couple of points, I talked to the CAC, they were looking for a schedule. Again, we have to take our time, because again, there's a lot of conflicts, there's the existing under drain we have to be careful of, we got to squeeze it in, the construction of this 20-foot deep manhole by the existing manhole, again, the head wall itself. So we're thinking of potentially 6 months, but we'll get a time frame and schedule from the contractor, and then we can notify the town of that as well.
Did I misunderstand? I thought you said it was going to be 50 feet deep. Is it 50 or 20?
20.
20 feet
20
deep?
feet, I apologize.
And when you excavate for that, are you drilling down, like how much is the area of disturbance? I saw like 4,000 square feet, 0.1 acres that
Yeah,
would be
that's the s-
disturbed in the wetland, but how do you get down there? Like how big an area gets disturbed
Well,
for them?
Kevin, if,
Yeah, sure, I can take that.
Again, they'll be using shoring and shielding.
That's why I'm thinking in the
That, so
shoring, you
they'll
have to,
excavate the sections at a time, put down the shielding, and they'll excavate down. So we're gonna try to minimize it.
the size of the actual manhole?
The new manhole, the
Is
size,
it 5 by 5 or 6 by 6? In that one picture, I can't recall.
it will be 6 by 6 interior. And so essentially that whole,
okay.
yeah, so
the area
the
disturbed is
existing, yeah, that existing gravel area will all be subject to the deep excavation.
Okay.
Anything else from you guys?
We're gonna follow DEP standard operating procedures. We're gonna make sure we have spill prevention plans. I know that's a concern.
I talked with Kevin from CAC about afterwards. So we're going to follow our protocol. I know the location is not in the watershed, but we do follow all our standards, so.
Okay. And just for academic purposes, we got a note from the CAC, and it's good. But I just want the record to show that we have received the note from the CAC. And the last sentence is, the council has no objection to the work. The only caveat would be to require a set start and finish date with continuous uninterrupted work so disturbance is minimized and restoration completed to minimize impacts. And I think the applicant should have that note.
Yeah.
So just take that into consideration.
Mhm.
But Steve Cabby and his team did put that note together for us. So with that being said, any other questions or comments from board members?
You may have addressed this. The town engineer said DOT has to confirm that there are no problems with work near their culvert, and
We're
you're getting
working
their
with,
sign off.
yeah, we're going to obtain that. So I'm assuming that would be a condition, and we'll take care of that. It may be a site access, or it might just be a notification. The work is all on our property outside the right-of-way line, the property line.
Okay.
However, from the grasslands, from the white line of the edge of the road to there, that's all DOT right-of-way. So
Okay.
if we come from grasslands, then we'll get an access permit from DOT.
Okay. Okay, we know it's a necessary improvement, so we need to think about what we want to do, but is there anything else from the applicant at this point?
No, unless there's other questions.
Yeah. One last call to the board. Any final questions or comments? Let the record show there's no final questions or comments. We-
Mr. Chairman, just point out, they will need, as of January 1st, with all wetland permit
The new-
applications, a jurisdictional determination from DEC.
Okay.
The new regulations from the DEC, yeah. Which we're navigating through now,
Yeah.
trying to understand as a
So,
body.
And as we've discussed previously, so the DOT issue clearly can be a condition of approval. You may choose to wait to hear from DEC if they have some issue of concern with respect to this. What I would say, I don't think this is going to be, I can't speak for the DEC, but I don't think this is going to be a big concern simply because this area was part of the wetland mitigation plan that was put in place for the UV plant, fairly elaborate. They're really not affecting it that much other than digging a 20-foot hole in the
Yeah.
corner of it. So I doubt the DEC is going to have a concern. It could be a condition of approval if you choose to do it, but DEP probably could get a JD out of the DEC pretty quickly.
Yeah, and if
as a
there is,
sister agency, so-
if there is a problem from the DEC, there will be arduous but possible mechanisms to straighten it out.
Well, what would happen is that they may need a permit from DEC. Worst case condition is
They
they
come
would need
back.
a state permit in addition to our local permit.
Right. So they would probably, if that had, the DEC said no, for whatever reason, they would have to circle back to us at some point.
They would, they'd have to come back to you.
Right.
Which is unlikely,
An
but
amendment or whatever.
that's the worst case scenario
Yep.
for you.
Best case
Yeah.
is the JD says DOT doesn't care.
Yeah.
Intermediate is that we're going to issue them a permit. That could be a condition of your approval, just like the DOT permit.
Okay. Okay, with that being said, we have an open public hearing. What is the pleasure of the board with the public hearing itself?
I'd like to make a motion that we close the public hearing.
Motion from Eileen,
Second.
second from JD. Jane?
Aye.
John? Oh, sorry, not John, it's off my list. Eileen?
Aye.
JD?
Aye.
And an aye from me. Okay, so we've closed the public hearing. Next up is what do we want to do with this application, which is a wetlands permit? What is the
We
pleasure? of the
direct the preparation of a wetlands permit. And do we want to do like a site plan for this?
Doesn't
Like,
need it,
It
just
doesn't
as-
need it, just the wetlands permit?
Yeah.
Then direct the preparation of wetlands permit with the condition that DOT has, signs off on the work and that they get a jurisdictional determination from the New York State DEC.
Okay, so we have a motion from Eileen,
Second.
second from Jane. Jane?
Aye.
Eileen?
Aye.
JD?
Aye.
And an aye for me. Motion carried.
Thank you.
That's it.